How the Fairy Jasmine Helped Jane. Bedtime Story for Kids. Today we have a book named How the Fairy Jasmine Helped Jane. Bedtime Story for Kids. I think they're so pretty. I hope you guys really enjoy it. I love it. Please give this video a like if you enjoy it, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories. Thank you, reading. So, here we go. In a faraway village, there was a small house. A little girl lived there with a fluffy dog. Her name was Jane. A black-haired girl with brown eyes and a beautiful smile. But right now she was sad. She was standing on the sidewalk in front of her house, holding a leash for her dog. He sat faithfully beside her. They were both looking at the house and looking sad. Suddenly, a car honked behind them. A big truck. It was a moving truck, fully loaded. All the stuff belonged to Jane, her dog, and her parents. They were going to move far away, and that made Jane and her dog unhappy. They stood in front of the house for a while. They wanted to say goodbye to everything here. "Jane, it's time," Mommy called the little girl. "Time to get in the moving van and leave." "Oh, yeah, come on, buddy, let's go," Jane said sadly to her dog. They got into the car and drove off. Jane and her dog had to get used to their new home. It took them a little while, but after a while they started to like their new home. Sometimes they missed their old home. One day they were sitting on the terrace, looking into the distance and thinking about their old home, when something far away in the grass stirred. A little light. It got bigger and bigger as it got closer. When the light appeared in front of them, they realized that it was actually a fairy with a beautiful glow around it. Jane and the dog looked at it in disbelief. When the fairy saw how surprised they were, she began to explain everything. "I have been watching you for a long time. I know why you are so sad and that you sometimes miss your former home. I would like to help you." "But how?" Jane asked immediately. "I will give you something," continued the fairy. "Here's a globe from me. It is not ordinary, but magical. Twirl it 3 times and then just stop it at the place you would like to look. You point your finger at the spot. Close your eyes and imagine it. And then see what happens." Fairy Jasmine smiled, put the magic globe in their hands, and disappeared. Jane, the dog, and the globe quickly ran to their room. She put it on the table and nervously rubbed her hands together. She wanted to try it on, but she was afraid. She reached out her hand, and before she twirled it 3 times, she looked at her doggie and asked, "So what do you think? Should I try it?" The dog barked in agreement. Jane took a nervous breath, then exhaled again and twirled the globe. She turned it 3 times, found the city where she had originally lived, and pointed her finger at it. Then she closed her eyes and pictured her former home. She did as the fairy Jasmine had advised. Suddenly, it began to glow around Jane as if she were a fairy. The glow grew bigger and swirled around magically. Jane took her little dog in her arms and closed her eyes. Then there was a flash. Before Jane opened her eyes, she was standing in the exact spot she had marked with her finger on the globe. She was at her former home. The magic globe had managed to transport her there. Jane was happy, perhaps even happier than her dog. They were having a great afternoon in a place they love. And they got back just the same. The globe had moved with them. Jane and her dog have never been sad since. When they got homesick, they twirled the magic globe and went to places they love. Moreover, Jane was very glad that the fairy noticed that she was sad and helped her. And so she too decided to take in her surroundings, noticing her friends so that she could then help or cheer them up. And thanks to the fairy, she never forgot that. The end. Good job, friends. Thank you so much for reading with me. Bye, I'll see you next time.